I want to talk to you today about what's in a name. What's in a name? That's what I want to talk to you about, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go in a different direction today. I want to talk about what happened last week. I want to talk about what happened last week because I think that there's a lesson in it for all of you, and I think you need to hear it from me. Our sermon scripture today was Matthew 5:14 through 16. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand. And it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light so shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. I underline the let your light shine before others. So let me deal with what happened last week. Last week I was in Detroit. And as you all know, I've been going to Detroit quite often over the last several weeks. And I've been staying at the same hotel every single week. The very first time that I went, my room was not very good. And so I went up and I checked in and I saw what was in my room, and I went back downstairs and I said, there's garbage, big garbage bag right in front of my door. And in my room, there are clumps of hair in the shower. And so they said, oh, we're so sorry. We're going to upgrade you and put you in a different room. I said, okay. And they did. They moved me to a suite. It was okay. The next week I came back, and the room that I had, I could not close the door. When you close the door, it actually would not catch. So if I left my room, I had no way of closing my door so that it was closed and locked. So I went down to the front desk and told them what was going on. Oh, we're sorry, we're going to move you to a different room. I said, okay. The next morning, I got up in my new room and I went down to the front desk, and there was a lady at the front desk, the same one that is there every single time that I go. And I said to her, I don't want anyone in my room while I'm gone today, but I do not have a sticker that is I can put on my door to say no housekeeping. And she took a sticker out and she tossed it up on the counter. And I looked at her and I said, you expect me to take that up and put it on my room? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, I'm not doing that. And so there's another lady standing there. She said, oh, I'll take care of it. And I said, okay, so I left. When I came down, I need to go back for a second. When I came down after the very first trip there, the next morning, I saw the young lady that was working at the front desk. And I said to her, my room, the TVs in my room didn't work. So I've stayed here the last several days, and I've not been able to watch TV. In addition to that, there was something else going on. I don't recall what it was. She looked at me and she just kind of said, okay. She was so nonchalant about it, which made me mad. And so I made a mental note that I was going to write a letter to the general manager. And I left. Later on that day, I received a phone call from the general manager. He said to me, the person working at the front desk told me that there were problems with your room and there are things that are going on. When you come back again, would you please contact me because I want to try to make it right? I thought to myself, she was so nonchalant, almost cold when I told her. I was shocked that she took what I said that seriously. I said, okay. So now it's been 5 or 6 times that I've been there. Every time there's something that is wrong. Not majorly wrong, but something is wrong. And each time that morning when I leave, I make a point of telling them. And so this week that I was there, I got to my room, I went in, and I stay in a suite. And and the suite has a little kitchenette area. And I went into my room and I opened up the counter, the door underneath the kitchen sink, and the trash can under there was full of beer cans and trash. My TV didn't work. And I just didn't like the room. I'm irritated. So the next morning, I didn't say anything that night. The next morning when I got ready to leave, I went down, because actually the reason I didn't say anything that night is because normally when I'm traveling now, I travel on Sundays. And so I take the late flight on Sundays, which means I get into Detroit at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I rent a car, and then I have to drive about 30 minutes to where I'm going. So by the time I get in, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was not going back down to the front desk to talk about my trash can then. And so that morning, I got up and got ready to leave, and I stopped by the front desk, and I said, and it was the same young lady, African-American young lady, very nonchalant, very cold. I said, can you have someone clean my room today? Because normally when I go to a hotel, I go in the first time when I first get there, I clean my own room, and I don't want anybody else back in my room until I leave. And I said, can you have somebody go clean my room? Because there is trash under the sink, beer cans, and my TV doesn't work. And she looked at me and she was, all right. No apology, just, all right. And I walked out. So here's what I want to talk to you about today that happened last week. I walked out of that place and the Lord convicted me. The Lord said, you are blocking your own light. Go back in and be kind. Go back in and apologize. Introduce yourself. You've never even introduced yourself to the young lady. The only thing you've ever done is complained. Let your light shine. My light wasn't shining. Oh, I am the pastor of this church, but my light wasn't shining. Oh, I've been saved a long time, but my light wasn't shining. Oh, I've been through seminary, but my light wasn't shining. I have 2 doctorate degrees. My light wasn't shining. Let your light shine. No, let me not say we. I'm going to talk about me. I have a responsibility to let my light shine, but I was blocking my own light. I went back in and I walked up to her, and when I walked in, I don't know how many of you have ever experienced this, but sometimes when God tells you to do something, it can make you put a hurry in. So I was like, I jumped and went and walked in there. And when I walked in, she was leaning over on the counter, and she stood up really quickly, and because I guess I came in. And I said to her, I said, I need to apologize to you. I said, my name is Ken. Oh, I'm sorry, my name is Ken. Ken. Leslie keeps telling me Ken doesn't have 2 syllables, but my name is Ken. And from day one that I got to this hotel, I have been cold to you. I have been strictly business, all about business. I've come down and told you everything that was wrong, but I've never treated you like a person. I've never been kind to you. I've never been nice to you. And I want you to forgive me. And I want you to know that I am going to preach on myself this coming Sunday when I get back to church. She started laughing. She said, my name is Nicole. And she said to me, it's no big deal. 95% of the people that come through here treat me the same way. I'm like, Lord, I'm in the wrong 95%. I need to be in the 5%. Are you in the 5% or are you in the 95? I was in the 95, just treating her just like, if somebody would have said to her, oh, you know that guy that just walked out the door, he's a pastor. She would have been like, yeah, right. I don't want to go to his church. We're blocking our own light. She then said to me, she said, but I got you. DeMarcus is on his way to your room right now to fix your TV. And DeMarcus was walking across with a cart. And she said, DeMarcus, this is Ken. Make sure you get his room taken care of. DeMarcus was like, I got you, man. I'm like, thanks. And she said, and I want to apologize for the garbage under the sink. I want to apologize for the TV that wasn't working. I'm sorry that that stuff didn't happen, wasn't right. It shouldn't have been that way. That was on Monday morning of this past week. I was there from Monday through Friday. I came home Friday late night. Every single time when I saw her after that, she was like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Your room okay? Everything good? Too many times we wait on somebody else to be kind before we're kind. Too many times we say, well, you serve me. You work in the public. That's your job. It's your job to be nice to me. It's your job to treat me with respect. It's your job to make sure I'm good. And I am going to be reactively kind. I'm going to determine whether I like your attitude before I give you a good one. I need to determine whether or not I see your light before I let mine shine. I was so convicted this week because that's not how it ought to be. In our lives, and where we are and what we are doing. Go back to that other slide. That is our marching order. Let your light shine. It doesn't say anything in there about let your light shine after you have seen their light shine. It doesn't say anything about let your light shine if there's a shining. I want to talk to you today about the fact that the pastor wasn't letting his light shine. The pastor was all business. Sometimes we can't be all business, y'all. Sometimes we have to be spiritual. Sometimes we have to be human. Everybody is going through something. Everybody. We're all dealing with something. And I got news for you. My something is not more important than your something. And your something is not more important than the next person's something. We are all called upon to let our light shine. I know that I'm supposed to preach a sermon today about Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, but God said, you need to tell them about how you messed up, how you fell down. You stand up here every single Sunday and you preach to everybody about what they need to do. Now you need to stand in front of them and strip bare and let them know how you messed up. We're blocking our own light. Other people can't see our light because we're not letting them. Other people can't see our light, the light of Christ that will lead them to Christ. They can't see it because we blocked it, and we blocked it with business. We blocked it with attitude. We blocked it with hurt. We blocked it with pain. Short message today, and it's real simple. Stop blocking your own light. Get out of your own way. Stop expecting everybody else to be kind to you before you are kind to them. I don't care if they're getting paid for it or not. That's irrelevant. You can still be kind to people. You can still be nice to people. When you go to the restaurant, you don't need to wait to see whether or not the server is going to be nice to you. Be nice to them first. Anywhere you go, anything you do, let your light shine. Don't be like me. so businesslike and so to the point, and this happened and I didn't like it, and that happened and I didn't like it, and therefore I'm going to treat you like you don't matter. I should have been kind. Now I have a friend. Now I promise you, every time she sees me, she smiles. Before, when she saw me, she was like, now she's like, hey, Ken, have a good day. Why? Because I finally stopped blocking my own light. Are you blocking your own light? Are you kind to everyone, or are you waiting on people to be kind to you? Do you think that it's just you that matters and everybody else needs to come into line with you? It's not. We block our own light when we think more of ourselves than we ought. We block our own light when we think the world is here to serve us. We block our own light when we treat people like God put them here for, and their purpose for being here is to take care of us. God did not put anybody on this earth to take care of any of us. He put us here to serve others. Too many of us have an attitude like people owe you something. That lady didn't owe me anything. She did not owe me a smile. She did not owe me concern. She didn't owe me an apology for what somebody else did, but I was holding her accountable for that. She didn't even apologize. The least she could have done was apologize. And an interesting thing is that I recognized that she was a good person, a good worker, because the minute I left, she immediately told the general manager what happened. And he called me later on that day. The problem wasn't her. The problem was me. Many of you are looking at others thinking the problem is them. I challenge you to take a mirror and see who the real problem is, because you're blocking your own light. I don't have a whole bunch of scriptures to share with you today. I don't have a nice little acronym to give you. I just want to tell you to stop blocking your own light. I want to tell you not to be me. I want to tell you to let your light shine so that men will see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And the problem for a lot of us is people can't see our good works because we're blocking our own light. But many of us are blocking it and don't even recognize that we are, because we're so focused on ourselves and what we're doing. I was so focused on me, so focused on the fact that I needed to get in and get to bed. I needed to have a TV to watch because the Eagles are playing that night. I think that might have been the night the Eagles were playing and they beat Dallas like they stole something. I think that may have been that night. Yeah. But the thing about it is that I was all about me, what I need and what I had to have and what was going on with me. I totally forgot to treat her like a person. The people in our lives are people. They're human. They hurt. And words hurt, y'all. Words hurt. Actions hurt. Ignoring people hurts. Marginalizing people hurts. Making people think that what you have going on is more important than what they have going on, that hurts. Who are you to think that what you have is more important, what you have going on is more important than what everybody else has going on? Who are you to think that your opinion, what you think, what you believe, the way you see things is more important than anyone else? Many of us are blocking our light with our hubris because we are so important, because our opinion matters so much. That lady has a need. She has hurt and pain. She has things going on in her life. Maybe, just maybe, had I been kind to her, maybe, just maybe, had I told her when I first met her, hey, my name is Ken. How are you today? Hey, by the way, can you get somebody up to the room? Because I got in last night and there was trash in my can. But you know what? This is my third time seeing you. Is there something I can pray for you for? Hey, do you have an iPhone? Because you can download my app and you can watch our sermons. But I blocked my own light because I was more interested in taking care of Ken. And the Lord convicted me so heavily on that until the whole week I was like looking forward to seeing her just so I could show her that my light was back on. Hey, my light's on. Hey, girl. But it should have been on the whole time. 6 weeks, I was going in and out. 6 weeks, I was blocking my light. My message to you today is really simple. We are a house of light. We are the light of the world. Don't block your own light. It's just that simple. No more profound than that.